to misuse. Yeah, as for whether it will be misused, I can tell you for free that I am sure
It will be.
it will be. Yes, somehow our executives find it difficult to apply restraint when they are given enormous powers.
The debate on state police, or what some people will refer to as decentralization of the police, is almost as old as the independence of Nigeria and has continued after several years of independence. There is also a lot of misunderstanding and misconceptions about state police and policing in Nigeria generally. For the record, state police is not community policing or community partnership in policing. The latter is currently in the Nigerian Police Force Act 2020 and has been supported by different Nigerian police force administrations. A critical prerequisite of state police in Nigeria is a need to amend or alter the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as policing is currently on the exclusive legislative list, which confers only the federal government the power to legislate on issues of policing exclusively. As at the time of doing this, there is a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to provide for establishment of state police and related matters, which has passed the second reading in the Federal House of Representatives. Alteration of the Constitution in Nigeria is not a tea party and requires consensus building and horse trading. Legally, it requires a concurrence of the National Assembly and the majority of the State House of Assembly. The journey has just started. It should be noted that state police is not a silver bullet or magic wand that will take. It may help reduce insecurity if all the parties are willing to play their part, as will be agreed as the negotiations continue. However, the reality is that the problem of insecurity in Nigeria goes beyond policing and has different elements, including the failure of governance, a high level of unemployment and underemployment, youth restiveness, climate change, religion, ethnicity, the politics of self-aggrandizement, and corruption, etc. Beyond the argument and counter-argument around state police, the operationalization and coordination of such a powerful outfit becomes pertinent to scrutinize. Among many other concerns, it is important we agree on how the officers that will be employed are paid. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. For example, we know that some state governors usually owe their workforce several months of salary. A solution could be to isolate the funding of state police officers from the grip of state control. The big question to that is the feasibility and workability of this proposal. It is possible to start with a pilot project of states with deep pockets and expand as verifiable success stories are recorded. There is evidence to show that some states already have hybrid security mechanisms backed by state law supporting the police and other security agents in different parts of the country. Will they be integrated into the new model of state policing, or will hybridization continue? There are no easy answers here. However, the National Assembly needs to urgently and immediately organize a series of public hearings to allow for a thorough understanding and scrutiny of the bill to alter the 1999 Constitution for the emergence of state policing in Nigeria. Beyond state police is the broader discussion of police reform. I believe police reform should not be about state policing only. What will be the role of the Police Service Commission and the Ministry of Police Affairs? Will the Police Service Commission have a say in the making of state police, or everything will be left to the House of Assembly at the state levels to handle? Another issue is the current status of the Police Trust Fund. Will state police officers benefit from the coffers of the trust fund? How will the issues that have bewildered the fund be resolved to position it for maximum effectiveness if its mandate is renewed beyond its current projected lifespan? A lot of investment have been made in Nigeria to reposition our security agencies for optimum performance. However, it seems its new administrations come with an agenda of security sector reform, not deeply rooted on realities of the moment and effort of the past. I agree with the argument which says that the new broom sweep clean. However, we also know that old brooms know the corners. A combination of new and old brooms and those who have contributed to security sector reform will definitely be a winning combination in our quest for state reform in Nigeria. To widen the discussion of the state policing in Nigeria, let's listen to Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe, a senator representing Abia South Senatorial constituency in the National Assembly.
As for whether it will be misused, I can tell you. And because they find it difficult to apply restraint, it will be. Yes, somehow don't want to have that situation going forward where you now put in the seeds of the destabilizing the nation. Now, we know if we check the past and how governors acted in the past, there are some governors that you will have known that if they had the police in the
I'm sure opposition will not have a say in that.
no opposition will have a say in their state. Nobody will come in there, this and that, and they will justify it. You understand? Because people justify anything, and I will say that human behavior, and I haven't known how our people behave or act when they don't have any restraint. You will be very, very careful in giving those kind of powers to people. So all the people who are bringing proposals to us, we have also tried very much to ensure that we look at all the proposals and then ask critical questions, not just from them. Also, we will have to ask from former leaders of the police and the other military and the other parliamentary agencies, so that we will be sure that if you're bringing a state police for security at the local level, it will also be security at the local level, not to go beyond their bounds. And also, which is most critical for us, to be able to have a recourse, assuming it is misused. Because if you're a human being with your rights, every Nigerian has rights. If you go to Section 33 of the Constitution, 33 to 39, all our rights are enshrined inside there. If somebody decides deliberately to do, what is your recourse? Because if you now have state police, your recourse will be to state courts. Would the state courts have the authority and the independence and the fearlessness, let's just put it that way, to now say no to state government? And then if you go beyond that, what will I would say the federal, the appellate courts and the Supreme Court say about such a thing? If the Supreme Court or the appellate court takes a decision, who implements it? Will it now be somebody that will be superior to the state high court? Really, so you now say, it's not just to put it by mouth, state police. No, there are just so many other things that will be done. Who will take responsibility for particular types of crimes? Who will take responsibility for? Will you be able to hand over a crime that is committed within a state, but is now seen as a crime that is beyond that state? So I think that we really have a lot of. But I'm not pessimistic. I'm optimistic that if we sit down and do proper thinking, we can design something that will be suitable for us. Well, the point really is, what is you come in, it comes back to the same question that we just asked. You are elected under a presidential system. You can only amend the constitution. Can you amend the constitution to say that this constitution now is a parliamentary constitution? So you come right back to the same thing, that you will have to dissolve this whole thing and start all over again. So bills. If I send a private member's bill or government bill, I'm assuming that's a private member's bill from one of the members.
Yeah.
Well, the first reading is, I would say, automatic. Second reading is, okay, we approve, then it can go to public hearing and other processes. You understand? So that he has passed second reading really doesn't cut the eyes here for us, because it hasn't, and of course, because we're on a bicameral legislature, it means that whatever they do in the House and finish, even if they pass it there, it will still have to come to the Senate for ratification. I think in the parliamentary system of the UK, the equivalent of the Senate is the House of Lords.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you going to do with regard to us? Because there are some other parliamentary systems that don't have a House of Lords. You understand? So I would just think that, and this is my sincere opinion, our problem is not the system, either presidential or parliamentary. Our problem is those of us who are operators of the system, of whatever system we do. We are the people who see what is supposed to be done and refuse to do it. And I will just give you one simple example so that it's very clear to Nigerians. Take local governments. The law is simple. It says the funds that are coming to the local governments should come to the state, and then there should be the creation of something called a joint account. Now, that joint account is supposed to be for the state to bring in 10% of their own internal generated revenue and add to the funds that are coming from the federal revenue. Now, then when they now combine the two, it now goes to the local government. In other words, the funds from the local governments will be enhanced by the funds that come from the state. But what do you have today? Funds come from the federal government, comes into the states. The states now decide what to do. They're actually not supposed to touch it. They're supposed to add to it, but yet today they decide they can use it anyhow. Give the senior, what do you call it now? The whatever they like to the local governments. So what do you have? It is the operators of the system. It's not the system itself. Now we run a presidential and everybody says, oh, it's very, very costly, this and that. It's not true. Look, it's not supposed to be. It is when you decide. We're not supposed to, within the system, give yourself all the specs that are all over the presidential system. No. It is the duty of the person in charge to determine how lean his government will be. So, if somebody decides that, he will live big, he will be he will have a 100-car convoy, he can also decide that he can have a 2-car convoy. You understand?
Yes.
Depending on the mode of the government. So, you ask yourself, is it the system or is it the person? My belief is that there's no system that our people will not corrupt. The parliamentary system was here. It was overthrown by the military, if you remember, in 1966. On what basis? Same thing, corruption, this and it's same
Which is still the same thing
parliamentary
we're
system,
battling with
which means
today.
that those who are also in the parliamentary system, that everybody is now looking at as if it's panacea. Also, utilize the system.
All right, distinguished. Finally, before we go, 1 billion has been, allotted for this process of the constitution amendment, and Nigerians will want to know how different would this one be? Will it actually answer the question of restructuring?
Well, I'm not in a position to determine that. I think you may have to go to the chairman of the committee, because the chairman of the committee who allocates and does the briefing and how it's going to be spent. You have to spend money going around. You have to spend money doing all the meetings, all the committees, all that, and they talk. And then, of course, you have to go to all the states. 23 must pass it in order for it to pass. All right? But the whole 36 states must be consulted and so forth. So, I think that there will be value for the money this time. What I can promise is that I'm a member, and I will put my foot forward, and let's get something that Nigerians will, because what Nigerians want is actually good governance. They don't care whether you are running a system of this or that. So if you provide good governance for them, I don't think that people will remember where you. It is because of these difficult systems, and let me just say that we're running now, that's making everybody feel that, but we must confront that fact.
Region. And we have had meetings with the DSS, and all that the DSS has told us is, listen, these are just a few people. They will come out in one road, they will find somebody just driving along on his way to doing anything, shoot him,